Hey everyone, it's Angela Fazio, Sam Staskall. This is Real Estate Tips and Tricks, and today we have Stacie Peterson from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and she is going to be talking to us about profit first. Welcome, Stacie, and hi, Sam. Nice to see you guys. Stacie, get us started. Give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a real estate agent. Started a team in 2011, grew that team to 300 sales, and then sold the team. And now I coach real estate agents around the country, as well as build an organization. And so I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Well,
That's
that's
awesome.
exciting. 300 deals. That's not too shabby, Stacie.
Yeah, it's
so
in a
bad.
small market too. Our market's it's just now hitting 200,000, so not a big
Really?
market to pull from.
Very exciting. How long you been in real estate?
I started real estate in 2002.
You said 2002. Okay. I was 1 year ahead of you. That's it. You look way younger than me.
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay. So explain your concept. I'm excited about people to hear about Profit First.
Yeah, so Profit First is actually a book written by Mike Michalowicz. But as real estate agents, a lot of times we don't know what to pay ourselves. And secondly, we don't have enough money left over where we felt like all the work was worth it, right? We're like, man, now I got to pay quarterly estimated taxes, or hey, how about like paying myself a bonus? And we just don't know how to do that. So Profit First is a really easy system that you run twice a month, and it allows you to put profit first into an account that later you will pull from for things like bonusing yourself or maybe paying yourself a little bit more. Plus, it allows you to put aside money for taxes and savings and operating expenses. Because sometimes real estate agents run their personal and business account through one account, right? And we know it's wrong, but sometimes we do that, or we pay ourselves like all of the commission and then we spend it. And so Profit First allows you that opportunity to actually have money set aside. We're not touching it until the appropriate times, and then the money's sitting there magically. And so it makes it feel like a true business instead of a hamster wheel that we're constantly trying to fund and, get our account going again.
So, okay, let's get really specific. So
Yeah.
you've got a commission check coming in. It goes into a business account.
Yes.
You create a budget.
Yes. So with Profit First, it actually even helps you with what are the 4 to 5 categories that we're going to concentrate on. And then what percentages should I have based on what my business looks like? So let's say you are 0 to 250,000 GCI. Okay. So from that, Profit First, the book, or you can go online and just Google it and it'll give you a sheet. Or if I can provide one as well, if you guys have questions. But let's just say that you need 55% in an expense account because your business has to run off of, things that you're paying for. And let's say 10% goes into profit, and then the rest is split up into tax account and then paying the owner as well. So now your commission check's going to go into your operating account. And then from there, you're going to take the percentages just from a spreadsheet, a simple spreadsheet. It'll calculate all of it for you, and it tells you how to move the money. So if a commission check comes in, let's say it's $5,000 and 10%, so $500 is going to go into your Profit First account. That goes into a different bank, one that's not easy to get your money out of. Let's say it's like a local bank. Yeah. Me too. Maybe you lost the ATM card, like you just, you don't want it so easy, like Wells Fargo, right? You can just move.
Yeah. Let's stop there for a minute because I love that concept. One of the wisest things I've ever did when we were broke is I opened a bank account at a different bank, did not order a debit card, did not order checks, right?
Yes.
And committed to putting $500 a month into that account. And this is how long ago it was. I have 6 kids, and 1, 2, 3, 4 cars have been paid for from that account. And I have enough money for the next car already. And so I didn't miss it because once it just automatically transferred out every single month, I didn't miss it. It's little teeny tweaks like that that make your financial situation completely different.
Yeah, exactly. And when you don't have to think about it and it does it for you, and like you said, you're not checking it, it just kind of sits in there and grows. Then when you have something that you want to use it for, it's there. And with Profit First, they recommend doing it twice a month on the 10th and the 25th. And honestly, it helps you organize your whole life. All my bills are paid on the 10th or the 25th. All of my calendar things that need to go in my calendar, let's say somebody's got a birthday party and, whatever, a volleyball game. I put those in my calendar on the 10th and the 25th. Those become basically now my organizational days because I know I'm moving money on those days, which, by the way, takes me 10 minutes total. I figure out how much money came in. I put it in my spreadsheet. It tells me what account and where and how much. And then I'm set to go. So when, let's just use, for example, like quarterly estimateds are due here like in a few days, I think, right?
Yeah,
like 2
like
days.
two.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I will go to my account and see how much is in there, right? And then transfer it to my business account that would have a checking account from it, right? And then pay, or excuse me, my personal, because you got to pay your taxes through your personal account. My personal account then pays for it. But that money was sitting over here the whole time. And I'm not fretting going, oh my gosh. And then
That's a killer. That's a killer. The first 2 years Chuck and I ever made any money, we were so stupid. We never paid those quarterlies. And it was such a burden for so long. It caused so much angst and it just didn't have to happen.
Right.
It didn't have to happen.
When we get our real estate license, though, it's not like someone takes us aside and says, okay, let me show you, number one, how to actually run a business. And number two, pay yourself like a business. No, we're like, oh my gosh, I just got this $20,000 commission check. And you're like, woohoo, new TV, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shoot, what do you mean taxes? Oh, geez, that's right. I owe what? And then you just get, like you said, nervous and anxious. And then it becomes like this bad thing instead of money can serve you in the right way. You gotta tell it where to go. Just like you alluded to, Angela, with budgeting.
So somebody else had asked in the comments, do you recommend doing like an LLC so that way you can pay yourself that way?
Sure. Well, I cannot give you tax advice, right?
No.
But I would suggest talking to your accountant and running like an LLC or filing as an S Corp, and then you're paying yourself differently than just putting it into your own account. For sure.
Yeah, my accountant's a lifesaver. He's the one who tells me what to do with the accounts and stuff like that. Yep. Okay, let's talk about a budget for a minute because I know that that's a struggle for some people. And and people say, well, where do I even begin with a budget? So literally years and years and years ago, when it really, really mattered, I got disciplined and made a budget. And this is how I did it. It was so painstaking, but I did it. I don't remember if it was 6 months of everything I spent or a year. Probably knowing me, it was 6 months, right? And I literally logged every single thing I spent for 6 months and put them in categories. And I went, that's ridiculous. I'm changing that habit. Okay, this is what I spend on electricity. This is what I spend on gas, and created these categories. And I'm not going to lie, it took a whole year of me messing with that budget before I understood how to direct the money on purpose, in a way that was healthy for financial success. And that budget, like literally every single month for years and years and years, every single month I would go and log every single thing I spent, adjusting here and there. That changed everything. It changed everything.
That is so good because that is another pain point of ours, right? Like we all, our cars are full of receipts and we're like, oh my gosh, where's that? How do I expense this? And we do it like, April 10th, so we can get our taxes in by the 15th. And so you could even use an app as simple as Mint. So if you go into mint.com, you can link all of your bank accounts. You can link, if they're at multiple banks, you can link your investments. And so it will tell you your percentages of what you're spending, and it will suggest how to categorize them.
MINT?
Yep, MINT. Okay. Yep, it's excellent. And so if you're not used to, maybe you're not great with spreadsheets. I mean, you could literally write it on paper too. do what works for you. But Mint is a great way to move forward. So now let's say, okay, well, awesome, but it's September. What should I do with my January through September? Generally, any bank, any credit card, you can go in and export a CSV file, which would be something in Excel or a Google spreadsheet. Put it in there, click sort, and then it'll sort it for you. So it'll say like Target, Amazon,
Me and Emma were like this.
I know, right? Oh, that's another suggestion. If you're having trouble budgeting and we're kind of making light of it I also did. So it's just one of those things that if it feels restrictive, I don't like doing it. But one thing that really helped me when I was doing a budget is like deleting the emails, unsubscribing from Target, unsubscribing from, Zulily. Oh my gosh. Unsubscribing from all those things so that I wasn't tempted all the time. It'd be like if you're trying to lose weight and you open up your pantry and it's all like Doritos and, whatever. You keep Chick-fil-A coupons, but you don't like buy fresh produce. Like no one has that kind of self-discipline. So make it easy on yourself.
Yeah, I will tell you that people told me this. I didn't believe them for a long time. Having a budget and adhering to a budget. Now, it doesn't have to look the same for everyone. Like I had a literal miscellaneous category where for a while it was $500 that I was allowed to have miscellaneous, right?
Yeah.
So you can allow yourself some freedoms, but I knew how much freedom, right? That was not restrictive in the end. It was restrictive at first because it was hard and it was habit building, but it became freedom. That's what it became. Money already set aside for vacations, money already set aside for those taxes. So it didn't feel like a gutting when I had to go and send that out. So it's almost like what the Bible says about, for a minute, discipline feels bad, but in the long run, it's freeing, right? So I can't encourage people enough to be disciplined, even if you're the only one in your house right now that's disciplined, right? And so you know what you can do if you have a kid who spends or a husband who spends or you're the husband and the wife spends, make a whole nother account for that person and just give them the money to do that so they don't feel like you're trying to put a choke around their neck, right? There's so many things you can do.
I probably needed a choke around my neck because I think the majority of my money goes towards food away from home.
Yep. And when you do a budget, you go like this. You're like, holy cow, I spend that much on this?
Oh, I'd be really afraid to see that number.
Right. And if you're trying to help your family, get into a budget or help them understand like, hey kids, we are not going to go eat out like 5 times a week like we do right now because we're busy and we're running or whatever. We do a family meeting every Saturday morning. And we go through, here's the schedule for everybody. Here's everybody's chores. And then here's what we spent last week. Inappropriate. I don't tell my kids everything I spend, but like we just look at it to have this conversation. Because as adults, we probably weren't privy to this kind of information. So then it's hard.
You've made me feel this big right now, Stacie Peterson. I feel like a complete failure as a person. Thank you. Family meetings on Saturday mornings. That's incredible.
You mean your kids do chores?
I know. I'm just a systems person. So
So you run your family like a business. Smart.
I do.
That is smart.
We'll see what they think. Ask me when they're like 25 and they're like on stage and it's like a therapy session. They're like, you know what my mom did? Yeah.
On Saturday mornings.
You had to get up.
No, I think it's fantastic. I love it.
But the point is, like, you can start wherever, right? So with business budgeting, kind of the question was, how do we start? If you take your GCI and just do 10% for marketing and advertising, 10% for people, and 10% for other, that's 30% expenses. That's going to keep you in a really good bucket for whatever you're making for GCI. So that's simple, 10, 10, 10. That's easy. Profit First will help you with percentages to put your money away, and you're doing it twice a month. 10th, 25th. Those are your new magic days, in addition to EXP's Magic Days, but
That's it.
10th and 25th for budgeting your money.
I love EXP Magic Days.
What are EXP Magic Days?
When I look at my account, I'm like, somebody put money in my account.
Right. Yes.
That's funny.
Don't tell anyone.
That's right.
Oh, I love it.
And that day's coming up pretty soon.
The 25th is like the best day ever to move some money.
Yes. Okay, so any last couple of comments? Oh, by the way, if you're watching and you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, all you have to do is find us and we will tell you about the magic day
That's right.
when money gets in my account. So tell us any last words of advice or tips that we should know before we end today.
Yeah, I would say, you might hear us talking and it's like, well, they all have it together. Like they're already doing some of these things. I don't know where to start. Exactly. We don't have it together, first of all. You can read the book, Profit First. I will share with you guys a document so that you can use it and it'll get you started. It'll tell you everything. But my encouragement is just start. Start with something. Start with the Mint app. If you're not ready to go full on Profit First, don't. Start with just managing your money. Do a simple budget like Angela mentioned. Just start. And it is going to take you like 12 months. It's just like anything, an exercise program. Any decision you make, sometimes it takes you longer to get all the kinks worked out. So don't feel like you're behind or anything like that. We want to make sure that, that it's a easy process. Yeah, it's a process.
It's simple, but it's not easy to be disciplined.
There you go. I was like, wait, that's the wrong one.
I have to say, you guys, you did this at the perfect time because I just made a video right before going live of I'm addicted to Dunkin's coffee and I go there every morning after I drop my kids off at school. So that's money.
Buy the K-Cups. Buy the Dunkin' K-Cups.
It's not the same. You can't tell me that's the same.
Put it in a Dunkin' cup. You'll be fine.
Yes.
Yes. And you wouldn't believe, and I'll just say for the last time, you wouldn't believe the impact of small changes. Just small changes. You'll make a change. Like my husband for a while would take his change. Like, it's the coins, these things called coins that we don't really see anymore. Yeah. He would take his change and throw it in a bucket. And not, everyone knows this story, but after a while it was hundreds and hundreds and actually thousands of dollars in all of these buckets. So we had the fun thing of dumping it into the change machine and getting dollars and going and doing something with our family with it. It can be those small changes and everything matters. So your Dunkin' donut coffee or whatever, that can add up like incredibly over time. It just does.
Yeah. Or now, like Angela said, you set aside your $100 miscellaneous money and that's what you're spending that on. Like, it doesn't have to be restrictive either.
That would be a pure waste if I'm spending my miscellaneous funds just on coffee for myself.
It'll help you make decisions.
Right. You're definitely going to decide in a hurry what you're going to spend that $100 on. And mine is not going to be coffee.
Exactly. Helps educate you.
Yes. You know what? I'll tell you one more little story that I cannot remember which guest on Moms in Real Estate said it. It was a long time ago. It was extraordinary though. She got she's a single mother. She got all her kids together on this idea. I think there's only 1 or 2 kids. And they would all put their change or miscellaneous dollars in this one container. And they were able to literally take a trip to Europe. They made a date. Wow. They made a goal. They would constantly put the money into the jar or whatever it was. And it was many years later. Don't get me wrong. It was many years later, but they took a trip to Europe. She said it was the most gratifying experience for her and her kids to be able to achieve that together. And to be able, then maybe it only paid for their plane tickets, but it hardly matters. They just learned this incredible lesson of being able to do something extraordinary from small changes that happen every day.
Yeah. Like the perfect preface to the book, Atomic Habits, right? Just 1% better every single day.
That's right. That's right. Well, Stacie, that was really good. I am 100% sure that somebody's going to make a change. Sam Stass call.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that spreadsheet and probably mint and probably a ruler for somebody to slap my hands. Because
That
Yes,
sounds
very
I'm
good.
happy
still
to,
drinking my
happy to
Dunkin'.
share. Yeah, as you have it.
I love Dunkin'. I can't help it.
Well, you gotta love
He's so
something, right?
lost without me.
Well, thank you both very much for your time today, Stacie. You in particular for your wise words. I'm sure it was a blessing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate getting to share some knowledge.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you guys.